Now we're going to add a graph to this bivariate numerical data. So let's look at the variable age versus speed. So I would like to make a graph of the age and the speed columns. So you can click on one and then hit Control and click on the other, and it highlights them both. Now, when we make a graph, Excel will default to putting the speed on the x-axis and the age on the y-axis. Actually, we want to know the variable you are predicting should go on the y-axis. So we would like to predict speed from age. So I do want speed on the y-axis, but I'll show you how to change those. So I have those highlighted, and we're going to insert our graph, and we want this scatter plot. And we'll take this one without anything fancy. Okay, so this is our scatter plot, and let's look at it. I click off it. If I click back in the area, I get my chart design. There's all these fancy designs. That's not my concern right now. I want to look at the data. And I want to look at this data set. I'm going to name this series. Let me see. I used B and D. So this is miles per hour. So this is my miles per hour series. And I want the x's to be age. So I can click on that, and we see that right now the x's are the b's. I want the x's to be the age. So I'm going to start with 31, and I could go down and highlight everything. We're ready for the quick way to get everything. You could either highlight everything, or to get everything below it, you do Control Shift down. Control, hold the Control key, hold the Shift key, hit the down arrow, and it gets everything. Enter. Okay, now the Y's, we have it highlighted that it's the ages, but I want the Y's to be the speed. So I'm going to start there and go down. Control Shift down. Okay, and so that looks good. And let's hit OK. All right, so there we go. So let's go ahead and add our titles. So the on the axes and the chart title. So the chart title we're going to have be predicting speed from age. And then on the horizontal axis, our variable name is age. And here we have speed. Okay, now another thing I might want to do is I might want to, just for fun of it, add the meters per second being predicted from age as well. So I'm going to, again, click on the graph somewhere. We're going to select our data, and we are going to add a series. This time it's going to be our meters per second. And the x values are going to be the age again. So I click there, Control Shift down. And the y values are going to be, this time, we are going to, whoops, let me see. Look at my meters per second. So I click there, Control Shift down. Got this little, but let me go back here. I want to get rid of everything here and start fresh. So to start fresh, I'm going to click on my first meter per second, Control Shift down. There we go. All right, so now I have this other data set. I have two data sets. Okay. And let's add, go to the plus, you can change things. Let's add a legend, which is going to tell me that blue is miles per hour and the orange is the meters per second. And we see that the meters per second, the age ranges are exactly the same, but the orange meters per second is less than the blue, which we definitely know it should be. They're less than half of the value, 0.44 or something like that. Okay, let's add our trend lines now. So if I go back here, I can click trend line and it says, what do you want the trend line for? I want the trend line for miles per hour. Now let's click on trend line again. What do you want it? I want actually both of them. So I want miles per hour, but then I'm going to click here and I want the trend line for this one too. We'll do a linear. And so we have two linear trend lines. Now I think these are quite ugly. I like my trend lines to stand out. So let's get over here. I'm going to click on that little line. When you click on the line, you'll get a format the trend line. And I want to format the trend line. I want to change the color. So I'll go to the paint. I'd like it to be actually a line, and I would like it to actually be black. I would also like to know its equation. Let me come back here. I should be able to do the equation, display the equation. There we go. There's the trend line for the blue series, which is miles per hour. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click on the orange trend line. I do want to display its equation, and then I'll go to the paint. I'm also going to make this one black. I'm also going to make it look like a line. Let me see, dash type is line. There we go. Let me take its equation and come down here. So now we have the predicted speed based on age. The age is the X in both situations, but for the orange, the Y is meters per second, and for the blue, the Y is the predicted miles per hour.